I am sad. I am sad because Henry Cavill's time as Geralt is coming to an end. You have big shoes to fill, Liam Hemsworth. You better not mess this up.
What's up, Netflix fans? Welcome back to the channel. Part 1 of Season 3 of The Witcher is on the platform now. We're going to talk about it. Does this season live up to the hype? At least 5 episodes. We have 3 more to go. As monarchs, mages, and beasts of the continent compete to capture her, Geralt takes Ciri into hiding, determined to protect his newly reunited family against those who threaten to destroy it. Entrusted with Ciri's magical training, Yennefer leads them to a protected fortress where they hope to uncover more about the girl's untapped powers. Instead, they discover they've landed in a battlefield of political corruption, dark magic, and treachery. They must fight back and put everything on the line or risk losing each other forever. Oh, that's so sad. The Witcher is rated TV mature for sex and nudity, violence and gore, profanity, frightening scenes, all of the things that we love from The Witcher, whether it be the video games or the television show. And we did get Witcher Blood Origins last year. We're not going to talk about that, but I have been excited to see the return of not only these characters and Henry Cavill, but this storyline, because I was very intrigued and interested after the end of Season 2, and I knew that Ciri would play an even more integral role than she already has in this season, because she is at the center of all of the madness. Everyone is after her, and it's all surrounding her, so our two kind of protectors, if you will, in Geralt, and specifically Yennefer, I love the relationship that continues to grow throughout this season with those two. It's all surrounding her, and I like the fact that our 3 leads, if you will, they are the focus of this season. Now, there are other things going on. There are a lot of subplots in Season 3 so far after 5 episodes, and I would say a few too many. It starts to become a bit convoluted in specifically the first 2 episodes-ish, where we haven't really found our focus after 2 episodes. So I'm sitting back going, is this entire season going to be like this? I hope not. Thankfully, episode 3 starts to turn the tide just a little bit. It not only becomes more focused, but it becomes more action-heavy and action-packed. Now, episode 1 is not without its cool action sequences, one at the beginning where we're right back into the thick of things with Geralt. We get to see kind of what we love about this show, The Witcher doing very Witcher-esque things. The special effects in some of these sequences are fantastic. Some of the designs behind these beasts look really good. There are a few moments where the special effects, they don't look all that great, and that's the inconsistency that I'm constantly talking about with some of these Netflix shows. Unfortunately, that finds its way in here, and there was one scene, maybe 2, where I was kind of questioning the decision-making behind making it look like that. I'm just like, that doesn't look great. But most of them look really good. Like I said in the first episode, we're right back into the swing of things. But our 3 characters on the run, facing dire circumstances, specifically looking at Yennefer and Ciri. She's grown to be a mentor to her, but there's also this distance forming between the two because Ciri, she feels constrained, like, why can't I do this, or this? And anytime somebody tells her not to do something, well, obviously, she is a character that is going to want to do that thing, and most of the time she does. And, you know, at a point, I'm just kind of like, all right, we're getting ourselves into these situations where otherwise we could avoid them. But it did create some conflict, and that relationship between those two specifically, it's getting a little more complex. It's going in the right direction. It does make Geralt feel kind of like the odd man out at points. I mean, he's kind of doing his own thing over here, but at the same time, I wish he was a little more involved in some of that drama and some of those emotions between those two. But this is a very emotional season for Geralt, and he actually gets more to do from that perspective in these first 5 episodes than I've seen from him so far. You know, usually he's the brute force, and he's had some scenes, but there's one that I'm thinking of in Season 3, and I'm like, that's not only, you know, some great emotion from that character, but it's really good acting from Henry Cavill, and it's nice to see, and I thoroughly enjoyed that.
It was perfect.
And back to Ciri, she's a character with so many expectations, and they're trying to train her, they're trying to tell her what to be and who to be. It almost reminds me of, and I'm not as familiar with the games, okay, so I don't know what direction this is going in. It almost reminds me of like an Anakin Skywalker type of thing. I mean, I don't know.
Liar!
Now, episode 1 starts out with a bang, like I said, but there are so many plot threads happening, so many things to kind of pay attention to, and the dialogue starts to become the focus, even over the action, but also even over the emotions. It's like we're going in so many different directions. It's hard to spend time, even with our main three, in one place. And that had me scratching my head. But like I said, episode 3, it starts to get things back on track. Then we get into episode 5, and there are some really creative things they do with episode 5. We have this mission. We're showing flashbacks, flash forwards. It's all happening at the same time, so we're cutting a lot. And I know that sounds overly complicated just by me saying it, but as it was playing out, I'm like, this is cool. I really like what they're doing here. They're taking cues from like spy movies that we've seen in the past, heist movies that we've seen in the past. So I thought that was great, and that worked extremely well. But then it just cuts off, and no episode 6. We have to wait for the next 3 episodes, and that's fine. I like the building of suspense, but at the same time, I question the decision to cut it off right here. I get why they did it, because they want to spread the viewership out. I know Stranger Things did something similar, but Stranger Things also had a lot going for that first batch of episodes, and not that The Witcher doesn't. I think there's a lot to like here, but these 5 episodes, it's almost all build-up. We get no sense of payoff at all. While episode 5 is really, really fun, it's like we're saving almost everything for the next batch of episodes, and that was really disappointing because I needed something towards the end of this season to let me sit back and go, I'm excited for the next 3, but my God, these first 5 episodes. And I don't necessarily feel that way. I really like some of the twists and turns along the way here and some of the moments that they had within the confines of the story. That worked. I love these characters, especially our main 3, but I feel like almost everything major is being saved for episodes 6 through 8, 3 more episodes. And, it's a good thing. I'm like, I can't wait to see what happens next. So in that way, it did its job, but at the same time,
You sure about that? You sure about that? That's why?
I could also use the word exposition. Series being hunted down and sought after by all of these different groups, so we have a lot of splaining to do. And Geralt's broken relationship with Yennefer, for me, that was something that I feel like we could have focused on a bit more, but because we're so focused on all of these other things happening, it does require them to do a little bit of explaining, but I feel like they try to do more than they even had to do. But I still believe Season 3 of The Witcher, at least so far, does kind of deliver on what you expect from a show like this. Again, I can't make game comparisons because I'm just not all that familiar with the game, and I know Cavill, one of the reasons why he said he's leaving is because, well, he doesn't know if they're staying as faithful to the lore, so I don't know if Season 3 is faithful to the lore, but I do know that there are some really entertaining moments, some great character-centric scenes with our main trio, some additional characters, others they feel unnecessary. There's one romantic subplot, and I just feel like it's taking away from what we have going on over here, so it does feel a bit scrambled, but at the same time, when we're with our main trio and a couple of these storylines that are really fascinating, this show is entertaining. It's a good time, and it makes for a pretty good binge watch as well, especially since there are only 5 episodes. It's a lot easier to binge than some of the other seasons have been. Before I give you my score, how do you feel about these first 5 episodes, and how do you feel about Henry Cavill as Geralt? Do you think Liam Hemsworth is going to do a good job? I don't know.
I don't know.
While this 3rd season gets off to a more convoluted start and the story occasionally becomes too dialogue-heavy, the build towards an epic conclusion is evident. Our main trio is fantastic, and the story thrives whenever the focus is on them. Because this is a part 1, I cannot give you a final score. Everything could change in the final 3 episodes one way or the other. We just gotta wait and see, but again, I need your thoughts down below, and if you enjoyed this review and you want to drop a like, that would be cool. We'll be back with more reviews, more Netflix reviews, all of the stuff. I'll see you soon.